So, me and my cousin Sherry, your cousin Sherry too, you're just far off distant, kind of like hanging on the same fucking opposite ends of branches, or two different branches, so different side of the tree. And like we know surgery fucks you up, or it fucks you up. Like you know that that's your kid, you know that you birthed that kid, you know that kid came from you, you know you have all these memories, blah blah blah. And you black out and you're a bitch. So Kelly was coming over for coffee with me, and my cousin Sherry happened to come by at the same time. I swear to God, I didn't text her. But your mom just got surgery, and she doesn't understand when she gets surgery that surgery fucks her up. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize." I'm telling her, I'm like, "I'm sorry that surgery is so hard. I'm going in for surgery too. I'm a fucking mess already because I bones missing." She's like, "Oh, I just didn't realize the surgery fucks you up, and anyone up." And I was like, I get it. Keely's pretty vengeful and pretty spiteful, and she never lets it go. But you have to remember that the same year that she lost her dad, you hooked up with 3 fucking guys that were calling themselves her father, and you weren't even sexually altercating with them. And then you started to say that you were when you weren't. And it was proven by DNA tests. And the fact that she hated herself because she got surgery the same year that her dad died. And especially when you drink coffee, it makes you rev and then you're tired and rev and tired, rev and tired. And it screws you up too. And it makes you say things you don't even mean to say, and you know you're not saying what you want to say, but you can't say what you want to say, and then you forget and you blank out. You black out lots. I was like, and you just hated her too. And you're made to hate her too. Every time you get surgery, you hate her, and then you make up and we go on all these trips and we have fun. But you always fucking hate her. And it's always in the car because of your lifestyle. And she's like, "Oh, but Keely," because she just got surgery. "Oh, but Keely wouldn't even be a fucking native, Amber." I was like, "She is a native." "No, she's a fucking hippie." I said, "Fairy clan?" "Yeah, but she's not even rude to people that deserve it." I'm like, "People that have more than you because they worked harder than you?" I was like, "I bought the fucking trailer." She's like, "No, not that." I'm like, "Well, if they're pushing her around, what's wrong with them to do that? Do you want her to hit you for the conversation between you and I? Do you want her to push you around?" And then she started going into a seizure, and the ambulance was waiting around the bend because I knew something like this was going to fucking happen. And I was like, talking to her later, she's a wonderful woman all over again. I'm sick and tired of driving, and flying. If we all flew, it'd just be as dangerous as fucking driving a car. It is already, but it'd be like worse. And I love her, but Keely is a fairy clan, and I try to go for that all the fucking time. But Keely is tan olive, and I literally am black when I'm feeling well. I've struggled with this albino problem, being a mutt my entire life. And natives hate mutts. Why would I want to hang out with a bunch of orphans that hate natives and behave like they do? Doesn't nurture count? Doesn't love count? Doesn't nature count? Doesn't experience count? Doesn't like the goodwill of a handshake and like a paycheck and all this stuff build you? Aren't they just like the run of the muck? She's like, "Yeah, but don't you work there?" I was like, "Yeah, and they're shitty people. And they take forever to get it through their head. They're sitting there blacked out making up shit about abuse about their parents. Their parents are sitting there and they're not related, so the native doesn't associate. They're fucking rude. And then they come out of it and they're like, "Oh yeah, babe, you open and close the door." It's like, well, if you didn't smoke, she would have spent so much more time with you. She got me freaking really buff before I got shot in the fucking belly button. Nobody else does that for me.